My beloved child, each passing day carries its own unique shade like petals that never repeat the same form or fragrance. Some days you easily see the difference because unexpected joy arrives or sudden challenges come. Yet there are other days that seem unremarkable days that quietly hold a mark I have engraved into the flow of time. Tomorrow is one of those days. It will not be announced with trumpets or fireworks, but I want you to be prepared, for within its simplicity, I will sow an important seed into your soul. You may think everything is random, a chance meeting, a fleeting glance, a word that seems meaningless. But no, my child, in my kingdom nothing is without meaning. Every step, every breath, every delay or small change rests within the palm of my arranging hand. And because I love you, I speak beforehand so that you may open your heart to receive. After 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, a moment that appears ordinary will come to you. It may be just a brief conversation, a gentle gesture, or a strange feeling that passes through, but within it, I will leave the imprint of my presence. I know you often search for me in great things, obvious miracles, sudden changes, thunderous opportunities. You long for a booming voice from the heavens, a door swinging wide open before your eyes, so that everyone would marvel. But my beloved, I often choose a different path. I speak through quietness, through gentle light, through familiar steps you hardly notice. What I desire is not to impress you, but to awaken you. If you do not learn to recognize me in the ordinary, you will miss the thousands of moments in which I am already walking beside you. Tomorrow, I want you to slow down. Do not rush to finish your tasks. Do not let your thoughts race only toward what is unfinished. Open your heart to observe. Notice the people who appear around you. Listen even to passing thoughts within your mind, for at times I place a name or a memory there as a whisper of reminder. This is not coincidence. It is a point of contact within my design. You may hear a phrase that causes you to pause, a reminder that lights up your heart, or a strange peace flowing in at the center of your weariness. When that happens, I want you to breathe in deeply, exhale, and be still. Do not dismiss it. Do not quickly assume it is a passing feeling. That moment is my quiet word. You will not hear a trumpet, but if you pay attention, you will recognize it. Many of the greatest things in life do not arrive with noise. They come like a seed planted quietly in the soil. That seed is small, seemingly insignificant, but if you tend it, nurture it, and hold it in faith, it will bear fruit. Tomorrow, I am not bringing you something overwhelming. I am bringing you a beginning. That beginning may be silent, but it will reach into your future. Pay attention to the way you speak, the way you listen, the way you treat a stranger. An unexpected kind word, you give a calm response. Instead of a hasty one or a small decision, you might be tempted to postpone. Each could be a way I am guiding you. You will be tempted to think, this does not matter. But my child, it is precisely because it is small that I choose it. For the holiest things often hide within simplicity. I am not asking you to strain or to be afraid. I only ask you to be present. When you are present, you will see me. When you give your attention to kindness, compassion, and watchfulness, you will see every stroke of my hand in your life. I may open to you a facet of yourself you have never known. I may bring back to your memory something long forgotten so that it becomes a key to a new door. I may invite you to step out of your comfort zone with a single, simple request. But all of it will be the beginning of a transformation from within. Tomorrow, my child, I am not seeking to display grandeur. I want you to know that I am still present in every breath. I want you to recognize me in the rhythms of ordinary life. There will be no applause, no dazzling light. There will be only a single moment, but if you hold that moment, it will transform the path you walk, and I tell you this beforehand, so that when that moment comes, you will not overlook it. I know how easily you become distracted in the swift current of your days. You carry many concerns, allowing fear and pressure to crowd your mind. Yet I long for you to regain your attentiveness. I want you to live as one who understands that every minute is precious. You have asked me for guidance, and this is the answer. Not a complete picture, but a decisive moment. Prepare for tomorrow with an open heart. After 4 o'clock in the afternoon, let your eyes and your heart be ready. Whether it is an unfamiliar light, a shift in rhythm, or a chance remark, pause and take notice. For when you notice, you will see me. And when you see me, you will understand that I have never been distant, but have always been near, even in the smallest of things. My beloved child, you have often lifted your eyes in search of extraordinary signs, a miracle blazing forth, a door flung open in splendor, an event so striking you could not deny it. You have expected me to appear in thunder, in the roar of the heavens, in wonders that astonish others. But my child, I desire to teach you something deeper. My presence is not only in the obvious miracles, but also in the plainest, most ordinary moments of life. Think of the flower opening in silence. No one hears the petals unfold, yet the whole garden glows with fragrance and color. Or remember the small stream whispering through the rocks. It makes no show, yet day and night it nourishes the green fields. That is the image of my presence in your life, not always loud, but steady, unseen, sustaining your soul day by day. I know how life often sweeps you up in its hurried rhythm. You chase plans, strive for great achievements, believing that only loud success is truly meaningful. But the truth is, the firm foundations of faith and love are not built in the sound of triumphal drums, but in quiet, steady steps. It is when you learn to notice the little things that you will discover how deeply I am with you. Remember that I do not divide great from small as people do. A kind word spoken in secret holds as much weight as a deed celebrated by the whole world. A glance of compassion offered to someone in pain carries eternal value just as surely as decisions of historic consequence. In my eyes, what matters is not the volume of the act, but the heart you place within it. Tomorrow, as you walk the familiar path, try slowing down to hear what you usually miss. The song of a bird at the corner, the smile of a stranger, the clasp of a loved one's hand. Any of these can be the language I use to remind you of my love and presence. When a memory rises unexpectedly in your heart, do not assume it is mere chance. I may be using that very memory to illuminate something you have not yet seen clearly. And when a sudden peace fills you without an obvious reason, know that it is not emptiness, but my hand bringing comfort. My child, to learn to recognize me in the ordinary, you must train spiritual eyes. Eyes that see beyond appearances into hidden meaning. You must train ears that hear the whisper, not just the clamor. And above all, you must keep a humble heart, for only when you lower yourself will you be ready to receive the lessons hidden in what others overlook. Do not underestimate the small things. It was I who chose a humble manger for my son to be born rather than a splendid throne. It was I who used the simple staff in Moses' hand to part the Red Sea instead of mighty weapons. It was I who turned 5 loaves and 2 fish into a banquet for thousands. I often use the small to accomplish the great, so that you will not place your trust in human strength, but in my power and wisdom. When you begin to look at life through that lens, you will see that no moment is empty. Every breath can become a prayer. Every step can lead to a sacred encounter. Every simple word can carry encouragement from heaven, and every tear, even when it falls in silence, is not forgotten before me. I want you to practice this. Instead of asking, "Is this a sign?" ask, "Lord, what are you teaching me in this moment?" When you change the way you frame your questions, you will discover that I do not only speak in extraordinary times, but in every heartbeat of life. This transforms each day into a holy journey, and every moment into an opportunity to meet me. Remember, spiritual maturity does not come from knowing every secret, but from being faithful in the little things. When you learn to notice the faint light, you will be ready to receive the brilliant light. When you are faithful with a single seed, you will be entrusted with many fields. When you learn to listen in the quiet, you will not lose your way amid the noise. Tomorrow I am inviting you into this classroom, the classroom of silence, the classroom of the ordinary. After 4 o'clock in the afternoon, stay awake to see that in one small moment, I am opening a new door for you. And when you recognize it, you will know that I have never left but have always been present in every detail. My beloved child, my presence is not confined to church buildings, large gatherings, or solemn prayers. It is also at the family table, on the road you travel to work, in the laughter of children, and in the raindrops sliding down the window. When you learn to see this way, your whole life will become a hymn, a dwelling of worship, and every moment a communion with me. My beloved, I want you to understand that many of the most important things in life do not arrive with blaring trumpets, but come quietly, so gently that people easily overlook them. Yet those silent moments hold within them the power for lasting transformation. Like a seed sown into the ground, no one sees the movement beneath the soil, yet day by day it breaks open, sends down roots and prepares for new life. The hidden moment is the foundation on which great works are built. You have often thought that the turning points of your life could only appear through clear events, a career door swinging open, a major relationship shifting, an unexpected incident altering your path. But I want you to look deeper. True change begins in small choices, in how you respond to a careless word, in choosing forgiveness over resentment, in deciding to give time to someone when you could have turned away. These quiet actions do more than affect the moment. They lay the groundwork for the future. Think of a towering tree. People admire its wide canopy and sturdy trunk, but they do not see the deep roots hidden beneath the earth. It is those unseen roots that hold the tree firm through storms. So it is with your life. The moments when you choose to be faithful in the small things are the very times when your spiritual roots grip the soil of the promise. You may not see the results immediately, but every act of patience, every prayer whispered, every silent gesture of love builds the strength that will keep you standing when the winds rise. There are many times when you feel that the small things you do carry no meaning. You offer a smile, you listen to someone in pain, you hold back from speaking words that could wound, and then you think, perhaps no one notices. But my child, I notice. Heaven notices. And in the spiritual realm, these small things echo far more powerfully than you imagine. A single word of kindness can alter the course of a heart. A wise decision can prevent a long season of pain. A quiet act of sacrifice can open the door for blessings to pour forth. It is within the silence that I am shaping you. I do not need you to display yourself to prove your worth. I need you to be faithful, so that a foundation may be built. When you learn to honor the quiet moments, you will see that your growth no longer depends on the recognition of others. You will learn to walk with me without needing the spotlight. And you will discover freedom, the freedom to do what is right simply because it delights me. Remember the lives of those I have used. Joseph was not prepared for the glory of the palace through grand lessons before crowds, but through years of obscurity in prison where no one paid attention. David did not first become a king through victory over Goliath, but through long years of tending sheep in the wilderness, learning faithfulness in silence. It was those unseen seasons that shaped their character, so that when the moment came, they could bear the weight of great responsibility. My child, I know you long for a breakthrough moment, something that proves I am at work in your life. But believe that the power of breakthrough does not come from what you see immediately. It is gathered from countless quiet moments every time you choose love over bitterness, every prayer you whisper in tears unseen by anyone else. Every day you remain faithful in the small tasks entrusted to you. All of these I am weaving together to prepare you for a great harvest. Tomorrow, the moment after 4 o'clock in the afternoon of which I have spoken to, you may seem like only a tiny seed. But if you treasure it and tend it, it will grow into a tree of life along your journey. You will realize that what matters most is not the outward echo, but the inward transformation. And that hidden change will lead you to the doors I have prepared. Learn to reevaluate the measure of success. Do not measure by noise recognition or outward numbers. Measure by faithfulness, by presence, by the transformation within you. For in my kingdom, great things begin with small steps, quiet decisions, and moments you think no one sees. Beloved child, I want you to look back at this very day. Remember the silent moments I have used to change you, a brief piece of counsel, a verse you stumbled upon, a moment of peace in the middle of a storm. All of these are evidence that I have always been there, planting seeds in your heart, and tomorrow I will plant yet another seed. Therefore, do not despise the quiet moments. They are the stones that build the spiritual fortress. They are the seeds that blossom into harvest. They are my gentle whispers reminding you that I do not need noise to be present. And as you learn to recognize the power in the small things, you will step into a steady maturity, unshaken by circumstances, unmoved by the opinions of others, but standing firm upon the foundation that is me, my beloved child. After you have learned to recognize me in the ordinary, I desire to lead you a step further. Be watchful, so that you may respond differently when those moments come. For it is already significant to recognize a sign, but it is your choice of response that opens the way to transformation. Tomorrow, the moment I have prepared for you will not demand a grand action, but it will call for a response. And if you pause to listen to me, that response will become the beginning of a new journey. You have grown accustomed to reacting out of habit, being quick-tempered when challenged, keeping silent when you should speak, or speaking too hastily when patience is needed. Yet I want you to understand that spiritual maturity is not only in the knowledge you possess, but in allowing me to reshape the reflexes within you. A person may hear many words of counsel, but if those words never touch how they act, then change will never be genuine. It is a different response that proves you have allowed me to reach your heart. Tomorrow you may be invited to step out of your comfort zone. There may be an offer that unsettles you, or a question that makes you pause. You will be tempted to avoid it, or to follow your old patterns. But my child, that is precisely the moment I am placing before you. Do not rush. Breathe deeply and ask, Lord, how do you want me to respond? That very pause will open the door to a different response, one born of the Spirit rather than of instinct. I do not want you to think you must strain yourself to always be right. I know your weakness. I know how easily you may misspeak or act wrongly. Yet as you begin to practice listening in the moment, you will find that I am always present to help you. I do not only give you peace, I also grant you clarity to choose. As the scripture says, the righteous will live by faith, Hebrews 1:3-8. Faith is not merely a distant idea, but the act of trusting that in every small decision I will guide you. Imagine tomorrow you meet someone who needs comfort. Instead of simply nodding and moving on, I may prompt you to open your heart and speak a word of encouragement. Or in an uncomfortable situation, instead of bursting out in anger, I may invite you to keep silent to preserve peace. These may seem like small things, but they are exactly the different responses I want you to learn. You will be amazed to see how a single shift in your reaction can change the entire atmosphere and open the way for my grace to flow. You need to understand that watchfulness does not mean living in tension, fearing you will miss something. Watchfulness is about remaining in my presence, keeping your heart open so that I may whisper to you. It is not like a soldier constantly on guard, but like a child holding the father's hand, knowing that the father will signal when to stop, when to step forward, when to change direction. Such watchfulness does not place a burden on you. It frees you from anxiety. For you know you do not have to manage everything on your own. You have me walking beside you. Tomorrow, when that moment comes, you may think, this is not important. But I tell you, it is precisely those different responses in small things that create great turning points. Focus on kindness, patience, and listening. Do not rush to conclusions. Do not chase restlessness. Let me lead you. When you dare to change one response, you are breaking an old cycle to open a new path. My child, I know you have prayed many times for me to transform your life. But understand this, transformation does not always come through a single dramatic event. It unfolds little by little through the way you speak to others, through the way you choose faith over fear, through the way you choose forgiveness instead of holding on to pain. And tomorrow I will bring you an opportunity to put this into practice. If you seize it, it will become a stone laid as part of the foundation for your future. Do not think that only great acts have value. You may never be known by the world, but when you choose to respond differently under my guidance, all of heaven takes notice. For what I look for is not the prominence of your actions, but the faithfulness of your heart. Beloved one, prepare yourself. After 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, open your eyes, your ears, and your heart. Pay attention to words, to actions, to situations that seem ordinary. Do not rush to react out of habit. Instead, give me space to lead you. When you do this, you will discover the true power of a different response, and you will realize that transformation is not a storm, but a steady stream of water flowing over stone until the path is carved open. My beloved child, you have often asked why I do not speak more plainly, why I do not reveal everything to spare you confusion and worry. Why do I allow you to see only fragments, signs, and whispers instead of handing you the whole picture? You long for certainty. You seek safety in knowing ahead of time, but I have chosen another way. And today I want you to understand why. If I gave you a detailed map of your entire life, every step, every event, every success, every pain, you would no longer live the life I created you for. You would merely watch the script instead of walking with me. You would act only in response to knowledge instead of living in relationship with me. But my child, what I long for is not to make you a machine following a fixed route. I made you so that you could choose, so that you could freely love, so that you could seek my heart day by day. You often believe that clarity is proof of love. But my child, clarity is not always kindness. Sometimes mystery itself is protection. If I were to reveal everything now, you would be overwhelmed. There are great blessings ahead, but if you knew them now, you would be distracted chasing the future and forgetting the present. There are heavy trials you will face, but if you saw them ahead of time, fear might stop you from even beginning. I hide some things not to make you lost, but so you can grow day by day, walking in trust rather than anxiety. Remember that faith does not spring up in the soil of certainty. Faith is born in the soil of the unknown. When you cannot see the whole path, you learn how to take my hand. When you do not yet know the answer, you learn to rest your heart in my guidance. If you had all the data, you would rely on information rather than faith. But I do not want you merely to know about me as an idea. I want you to experience me as a companion, step by step, moment by moment. My child, true love cannot be programmed. It cannot be forced. It must arise from the freedom to choose. That is why I gave you free will, not as a burden, but as a sacred gift. When you choose to love me without knowing the outcome, that love is real. When you choose to be faithful without seeing the reward immediately, that faithfulness is precious. If I showed you every result beforehand, your choice would become mere compliance, not love. Imagine a child who knew every detail of its entire life in advance. The day it would stumble, the day it would succeed, the day it would lose. Would that child still dare to play, to dream, to step out boldly? Or would it live under the shadow of the future, full of caution, anxiety, or complacency? My dear one, your soul is the same. I keep part of the future, hidden not to make things harder for you, but to preserve your joy of discovery, your excitement in seeking, and the beauty of surprise. There are times when I speak plainly, when a situation is urgent, when the path ahead needs immediate light. Yet even then, I reveal only enough for the next step, no more. This is because I want you to walk by faith, not by calculation. If I were to show you 5 steps, 10 steps ahead, you would no longer seek me moment by moment. You would lean on the picture and forget the artist. But what I desire is not only that your mind would understand, but that your heart would cling to me. I know you find my silence unsettling. You think I am distant, that I am withholding, that I am hiding. But silence is not absence. It is the space where your soul can grow. It is the place where you learn to hear the beat of your own heart and discover that I am already within you. When you learn this, you will no longer need every explanation. You will begin to live by love rather than by fear. You will walk in my presence rather than under pressure. My beloved, whenever I leave you a sign without a full explanation, it is not a puzzle for you to strain to solve. It is an invitation to step deeper into trust and into relationship. I am not calling you to decode me. I am calling you to know me. And there is a great difference between the two. One is knowledge, the other is love. I always choose love. If you ask, why don't you speak more clearly, I would ask you in return. If I spoke clearly, would you still seek me, or would you simply follow instructions without needing my heart? You see, mystery is not distance. It is the thread that draws you closer. Silence is not emptiness. It is the place where I long to meet you in trust. And be assured, even when you miss a sign, I do not abandon you. Even when you do not understand, I remain faithful. My faithfulness does not depend on your ability to grasp it, but on my own nature. Yet I want you to grow, to learn to listen, not with anxiety, but with expectancy, not with tension, but with trust. Therefore, my child, know that I do not tell you everything because I love you too much. I want you to be free to choose to rejoice in the present, to grow in faith. When your faith rests in me rather than in outcomes, then you will be steady, then you will be free. Then you will be ready for all that I have prepared for you. My beloved, faith is not born out of having all the information, but from the absence of it. If you could see everything, you would rely on knowledge. But when you cannot see ahead, you are compelled to choose to trust me. It is that choice which makes you strong. Faith is not a vague feeling, but a decision made again and again each day, the decision to believe that I am walking with you even when you cannot see. Remember Abraham, the father of faith. He was called to leave his homeland without being told where he would end up. He only heard one instruction: go to the land I will show you. It was precisely in that unknown territory that his faith was forged. Each step he took was a step of trust, not built on sight, but on promise. In the same way, you will never truly grow in faith if you always demand certainty. The unknown is not abandonment. It is the very environment where faith takes root. My child, the unknown is not a dark and fearful void, but a field of opportunity. In that place, waiting trains your patience. In that place, uncertainty sharpens your discernment. In that place, silence teaches you to listen. And in that place, your soul learns to lean entirely upon me. You will discover that only when you do not hold the answers in your hand do you learn how to hold tightly to mine. I know you do not like waiting. You want answers immediately, assurances to settle your heart. But remember, faith does not mature in safety. It is refined in delay, in silence, and in the moments when you must walk without knowing where you will arrive. This is how I transform your faith from fragile to steadfast. As you walk through the unknown, you will learn humility. You will recognize that you cannot control everything. You will let go of the need to dominate and instead give me the right to guide. And in that surrender, you will find freedom. Freedom does not come from having every answer, but from believing that I hold every answer in my hands. My beloved, there are things I purposely hide not to test you, but to keep your choices truly free. When you do not know the outcome, yet still choose to love, to forgive, to remain faithful, then that love is genuine. And I rejoice in that choice. Heaven rejoices when you follow me even without seeing the destination. Picture someone walking in the darkness of night holding only a small lamp. The light is enough to illuminate just a few steps ahead, yet that person keeps moving, trusting that each step will bring forth more light. That is what faith looks like. It does not show you the whole journey, but it guarantees you will not lose your way if you keep walking in that small circle of light, and that light is my presence. Mature faith is not measured by how much you know, but by how much you dare to believe when you do not know. In the unknown, you can choose anxiety or you can choose trust. Each time you choose trust, the roots of your faith sink deeper into the ground. Each time you say, Lord, I do not understand, but I still believe you, your soul is widened to receive more grace. My child, do not fear the unknown. It is the training ground of faith. There I shape you. There I strengthen your soul. There I give you new eyes, not only to see with your senses, but to see with trust. And it is in the unknown that you will find your deepest revelations. For when you no longer lean on your own certainty, you will lean on mine. Tomorrow, when that moment comes after 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you may not immediately understand its meaning. You may notice only a small detail, a fleeting change. But remember, the unknown is precisely where your faith is tested. Embrace the uncertainty and let me teach you how to walk. You do not need to see it all in order to believe. You only need to know that I am with you. My beloved child, I now desire for you to step into a deeper reality, to live in the present, for the present is where I meet you. You often worry about tomorrow, regret yesterday, and unintentionally lose the precious moment right in front of you. Yet it is only in the present that love can be given, forgiveness can be practiced, and transformation can begin. My child, I am not preventing you from looking back on the past or preparing for the future, but I want you to understand that the past is no longer in your hands and the future has not yet arrived. What you hold in your hands is only this moment, the one moment I give you as a gift. If you neglect it, you will miss me, because I choose to dwell in the now, not in what has passed or what is yet to come. Remember that you cannot meet me anywhere else but in the present. When you pray, it is an act that happens in the present. When you love, it is a choice made in the present. When you forgive, it is a decision made right now. If you wait for a more convenient tomorrow, you will miss the opportunity for me to touch your heart today. As Scripture says, today if you hear His voice, do not harden your hearts, Hebrews 3:1-5. You are often haunted by what has not yet happened. What will tomorrow be like? Will I have enough strength? Will I fail? But I tell you, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will take care of itself. Each day has enough troubles of its own. When you live in the present, you learn to trust that I will provide for you step by step. When you let the worries of the future take over you, unintentionally forfeit the joy I have prepared for you today. You also tend to be imprisoned by the past, regretting lost opportunities, blaming yourself for mistakes, or longing for days that seemed brighter. But my child, the past has been covered by my grace. No failure is stronger than my forgiveness. No loss is beyond my ability to restore. If you keep looking back, you will no longer see the new things I am doing in the present. I want you to learn how to let go so that your hands are free to receive what I give you today. Living in the present does not mean living superficially. It requires attentiveness, noticing your breath, letting peace replace agitation, keeping your eyes open instead of weary. When you eat, give thanks for each bite. When you converse, listen with your whole heart. When you pray, place your entire being into every word. These seemingly simple acts are how you learn to live in my presence. And in that presence, you will see me. Let me tell you a story. There was a man seeking wisdom. He thought it lay in lofty places, reachable only by saints. He wandered far and wide, yet the more he searched, the emptier he felt. Until one day he stopped, sat under a tree, breathed, and watched the leaves trembling in the wind. In that moment he realized wisdom was not in some distant place, but in the present moment where he could feel the Creator's love. My child, in the same way, you do not need to go far to find me. You only need to stop and be present. Tomorrow, when the moment after 4 o'clock arrives, remember this. I do not ask you to know everything in advance. I invite you to pause, pay attention, and live fully in that moment. If it is a conversation, put your whole heart into your words. If it is an interruption in your schedule, see it as an opportunity to hear my voice. If it is a fleeting sense of peace, breathe deeply and let that peace sink into your soul. When you do this, you will turn an ordinary moment into a sacred encounter. My beloved child, the present is holy ground. It is not merely a meaningless stream, it is where I plant seeds. It is the altar where you can offer thanksgiving. It is the classroom where you learn to trust. If you neglect the present, you neglect the very place where I am at work. But if you cherish the present, your entire life will become a sacred stream. Therefore, I call you live fully in every moment. Do not run ahead of time, nor lag behind it. Walk in rhythm with me, here and now today. You will see that every moment bears my imprint, every minute can become holy. And when you live in the present, you will no longer feel lost, for you will know I am here with you in every breath. May the Lord's word continually remind you to live each day in His faith and love. Click follow and turn on notifications so you won't miss the sacred and meaningful messages He longs to share. May God bless you. Amen.